Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 49 based on novel. So let's start. The 10,000 feet lightning sun was suspended in the sky. Resplendent lightning sparks arced and danced on it, while a loud thunder roar ricocheted across the sky. The terrifying strength that it contained caused Lin Dong's skin to involuntarily turn numb. That is the Thunderbolt's ancestral symbol, huh? Lin Dong's eyes were searing hot as he stared at the 10,000 feet lightning sun. Promptly, his devouring power surged while a black glint flashed across Lin Dong's eyes. He felt as if he was able to see through the lightning glow on the lightning sun. Faintly, he saw an ancient symbol. That symbol was distorted, appearing just like the first thunderbolt that had been born in this world. Ancient and mighty. It possessed the might of the god's punishment. Lin Dong's and Mo Luo's eyes focused on the lightning sun in the sky. They finally withdrew their gazes after a long time later. After which, they exchanged glances with each other and both of them could see an inexplicable intention in the other party's eyes. Senior Mo Luo, where is the king grade Yimo? Lin Dong smiled and suddenly asked. Mo Luo glanced at the lightning sea below. Promptly, he suddenly clenched his fist. Suddenly, a monstrous flame swept out from his palm. Waves after waves of shocking heat waves spread, causing the surrounding space to be a little distorted. Lin Dong's eyes stared intently at the rising flames in Mo Luo's hands. He could see a flame symbol that appeared to be as ancient as the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Blazing ancestral symbol. Lin Dong curled his lips. Clearly, Mo Luo had summoned his blazing ancestral symbol. It should be one of the 8 great ancestral symbol, the blazing ancestral symbol. Bang! Mo Luo flicked his finger. Immediately, the flames went sweeping down. After which, they charged into the lightning sea region. A howl erupted after the flames charged into the lightning sea. Suddenly 100,000 feet giant swirl appeared within the lightning sea. Roar? An extremely evil roar suddenly resounded from the deep regions of the spatial swirl. Monstrous black chi suddenly surged. Rumble. However, the lightning sun in the sky suddenly emitted an extremely loud sound after the monstrous black chi shot out. Soon after, Lin Dong saw that the air above the lightning sea became distorted. Many 10,000 feet large lightning chains slowly appeared. These lightning chains were like interconnected lightning dragons that were connected with each other until the lightning sun. On the other end, they extended to the deepest part of the spatial swirl. Lin Dong's eyes followed the lightning chains as he stared at the deepest part of the spatial tunnel. Some lightning appeared from it. By making use of the lightning sparks, Lin Dong was finally able to see 1,000 feet large black shadow at the bottom of the lightning sea. This figure was firmly restrained by those lightning chains. Meanwhile, a monstrous and evil aura continuously radiated from its body, as it attempted to erode the lightning chains that were binding it. Swish! The black shadow seemed to have detected something as Lin Dong looked at the former's body, which was wrapped by lightning. It suddenly lifted his head before its fearsome and sinister eyes directly locked onto that of Lin Dong. Lin Dong suddenly felt like his mind was about to explode when their eyes met. Without any warning, an incomparably brutalness rose from deep within his heart. It was even about to overwhelm his mind. Damn it! However, Lin Dong suddenly recovered just as the brutalness was about to assault his mind. He immediately cursed it out. The devouring ancestral symbol, ancestral stone, and the ancient universe formation were activated in unison. Only then did he manage to dispel that brutal sensation. Be careful, these Yimo specializes in corrupting one's heart. Standing beside him, Mo Luo said. A tinge of admiration flashed across his eyes when he saw that Lin Dong was actually able to awaken without his assistance. Lin Dong's expression was grave as he spoke with some lingering fear. It is indeed worthy of being a king-grade Yimo. It is actually this frightening. Humans, you damn humans! The enormous black shadow at the bottom of the lightning sea roared. The roar was filled with a rich hatred. My Yimo race will flatten this plane sooner or later. After being sealed for thousands of years, It is still so arrogant. Mo Luo chuckled. TSK, don't think that you have won this war. There are more Yimo in this plane than you know of. The next time a crack is torn between the planes, all creatures on this plane will be subjugated by my clan. The enormous black shadow roared sharply. My clansman knows that this king has been sealed in this place. They will definitely come and rescue me. Rescue you? I'm afraid that they won't have the opportunity to do so. Mo Luo laughed faintly. Despicable human. Even though this king has been sealed, none of you are able to kill me. TSK, even though that foolish lightning emperor sacrificed his life, he is only able to seal me. Mo Luo revealed an expression of ridicule as he looked at the Yimo king, who was still acting tough at this moment. He waved his sleeve before a monstrous flame became distorted. After which, it turned into a firestorm. Can you sense this familiar energy? At the bottom of the lightning sea, when the Yimo king saw the crimson-red flames that rose above the silvery sea, his eyes suddenly revealed an expression of shock. Promptly, he exclaimed in shock, blazing ancestral symbol. That is not all. Lin Dong involuntarily parted his mouth as he stared at the Yimo king, who had a change in its expression. He immediately took a step forward before black light surged out from his head. After which, it turned into a black hole that was suspended in the sky. Devouring ancestral symbol? The Yimo king once again exclaimed in shock after it saw the emerging black hole. There was actually an additional trace of fear in its voice. It did not expect that 3 ancestral symbols would actually appear in this place. There were only 8 ancestral symbols in the entire world. Yet, 3 of them had appeared in front of him. I have long been aware that there are still some remnants Yimo in this plane. They are likely thinking of ways to rescue kings like you, who have been sealed. Mo Luo rode on his flames. His indifferent voice reverberated across the sky. The reason I came is to completely eliminate you and break their schemes. You? The Yimo king's voice was filled with shock and fury. Lin Dong, activate the devouring ancestral symbol with all your strength. I will use the blazing ancestral symbol and activate the strength of the thunderbolt ancestral symbol to completely eliminate this monster. Mo Luo inhaled a deep breath and spoke in a deep voice. Lin Dong nodded with a solemn expression. With his current strength, he did not dare to make any contact with this Yimo king even though the latter was sealed. The main attacker would have to be Mo Luo. All Lin Dong had to do was to assist him from the side. Lin Dong sat in the air after thinking of this. After which, he began to circulate the Yuan power within his body. Following which, he used all his strength to activate the devouring ancestral symbol in his body. Buzz buzz. The black hole above Lin Dong's head suddenly swelled after Lin Dong activated the symbol with all his strength. A terrifying devouring power spread. Even the surrounding wild and violent lightning strength were forcefully devoured after making contact with the devouring power. Mo Luo glanced at the black hole before a shocked expression flashed across his eyes. He was the owner of the blazing ancestral symbol and he had a much deeper understanding of the ancestral symbols as compared to any ordinary individual. The devouring ancestral symbol was the most mysterious of the 8 ancestral symbols. Although it did not specialize in offense, its devouring power was able to accommodate the other ancestral symbol's strength. Blazing ancestral symbol, destroy this demon together with me. However, Mo Luo did not have much time to think at this moment. He swiftly recovered his senses. Both of his hands formed many seals. His originally scarlet-red eyes actually turned crystal clear at this moment. It appeared as though there was magma flowing within. Bang! Terrifying flames soared in the sky. After which, there seemed to be a clear cry being emitted from within the flames. Soon after, Lin Dong could see that the flames that filled the sky had actually transformed into a fire phoenix that was tens of thousands of feet in size above Mo Luo's head. There was a terrifying strength radiating from the fire phoenix. Just this fire phoenix, which came from the blazing ancestral symbol, was likely be able to match dozens of samsara stage experts. Lin Dong's eyes were shocked. This was the true strength of an ancestral symbol. He wondered when he would finally be able to unleash the full strength of his devouring ancestral symbol. Lightning Emperor, I am aware that a sliver of your consciousness still lingers within the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Unleash your remaining strength now. Let us eliminate this demon together. Mo Luo suddenly lifted his head. His eyes were searing hot as he stared at the human figure on the throne and cried out. That Lightning Emperor isn't completely dead. Lin Dong was suddenly startled after hearing Mo Luo cry. He suddenly lifted his head. It was possible for him to see that the lightning sun actually had a lightning light shooting from it. Finally, it shone onto the throne. The eyes of the skinny figure, which had been shut for thousands of years, actually slowly opened up under the illumination of the lightning light. Bang! Lightning whistled across the sky. It was as though they were welcoming their king back. Lightning Emperor, awaken. Countless huge thunderbolts suddenly rained down from every direction in the sky at this moment. In contrast, the altar quietly sat amidst the tens of thousands of thunderbolts. The man seated on the throne opened his eyes, which had been shut for 1,000 years, as a resplendent silver glow emerged from his eyes. It was as though there was a lightning realm within them. The frightening fluctuations from them caused one's heart to tremble with fear. Lin Dong could clearly feel the lightning, which permeated the thunder world, turn increasingly wilder and violent when that man opened his eyes. It was as though they were cheering, welcoming their king back. The silver-eyed man opened his eyes before he slowly took a look at Lin Dong and Mo Luo. He was not very handsome, but if one was to observe carefully, he had a unique charm of his own. Meanwhile, a faint smile seemingly appeared on his face. Blazing ancestral symbol, devouring ancestral symbol, my wait of 1,000 years has finally bore fruit. We should not waste any time. You cannot remain in this state for long. Mo Luo's eyes paused on the Lightning Emperor. A moment later, he cupped his hands together. Clearly, despite his overbearingness, Mo Luo still paid respect to the owner of the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. This was despite him not showing it through his words. The Lightning Emperor smiled and nodded. After which, he glanced at Lin Dong. A trace of doubt flashed across his eyes, the strength of the owner of the devouring ancestral symbol. This little fellow has only just obtained the devouring ancestral symbol. However, it is sufficient. Mo Luo explained. You still haven't grown her, in that case you should be extra careful. The Lightning Emperor slowly said. Many thanks to Elder for your advice. Lin Dong cupped his hands together and spoke respectfully. He had gained a lot in this lightning cave dwelling. It was only right for him to pay the Lightning Emperor some respect. The ancestral symbols provide us with power that far exceeds that of an ordinary person. However, it has also brought us dangers that we are unable to anticipate. The Lightning Emperor laughed while he slowly sat up on his throne. Bright lightning glow erupted from within his body. This soul fragment of mine is indeed unable to survive for long. Let's fight together while I am still able to control the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Lightning Emperor, you pathetic thing who has dragged out an ignoble existence. You actually hid inside the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol for 1,000 years because you were afraid of taking me on alone, right? The Yimo King looked at the Lightning Emperor on the throne from deep within the sea of lightning and involuntarily roared. His roar was filled with fury. If you did not suddenly launch a sneak attack while I was undergoing the reincarnation tribulation, it would have been too easy for me to kill all of you. The Lightning Emperor's silver eyes looked towards the roaring Yimo King and spoke in an indifferent voice. However, since you are unable to endure being sealed, this Emperor shall help free you today. The Lightning Emperor abruptly stepped forward after his voice sounded. One could see the 10,000 feet large lightning sun in the sky suddenly release a clap of thunder. After which, the lightning sun began to distort. Promptly, countless lightning bolts came raining down like a waterfall. Roar? Resplendent lightning glow distorted in the sky while an ancient roar faintly echoed. Soon after, Lin Dong saw that the lightning sun had actually turned into a huge creature that was tens of thousands of feet in size. This was a creature that looked like a giant snake. Its body was as bright as silver while lightning liquid continuously dripped from its body. When it swept across the sky, the lightning liquid transformed into thunderbolts that came raining down. That snake-like creature possessed 9 giant heads. Its enormous body entrenched itself in the sky while it gave off a frightening pressure, causing even space itself to become a little distorted. When an ancestral symbol is activated to its maximum extent, it is possible to summon the ancestral symbol spirit. Such power is sufficient to destroy the world. However, the current you has not yet reached that level. Yang's voice suddenly sounded out within Lin Dong's mind. Ancestral symbol spirit? Lin Dong slightly narrowed his eyes and quickly clenched both his fists tightly. Sooner or later, he will be able to summon the devouring ancestral symbol spirit. Hence, he was extremely curious to find out what the devouring ancestral symbol spirit would look like. Let's do it. Mo Luo nodded slightly and spoke in a deep voice after he saw that the Lightning Emperor had summoned his ancestral symbol spirit. Bang! The fire phoenix above him, which seemingly blotted the sky, let out a clear cry towards the heavens. A pair of 10,000 feet long fire wings suddenly flapped as a sea of fire swept forth. After which, it shrunk at a shocking speed. In the end, it transformed into a couple of 1,000 feet large glowing fire pillar. The glowing pillar seemed almost solid and was as translucent as gemstones. However, a destructive fluctuation was contained under this gorgeous color. Roar! The 9-headed lightning python also released a hiss at this moment. Their ferocious large mouths opened as lightning was spat out like a waterfall, finally agglomerating into a lightning glowing pillar that was filled with destructive force. Lin Dong sat down in the air. The yuan power within his body was pushed to its limits as the black hole above his head crazily rotated. Finally, it also turned into a black glowing pillar. However, his glowing pillar was clearly substantially inferior when compared to that of Mo Luo and the Lightning Emperor. Go! Low cries were simultaneously emitted from the mouths of the trio. Immediately, the entire thunder world started to tremble wildly. The lightning sea below completely collapsed as 10,000 feet large waves unfurled. That wild and violent manner caused one to be scared witless. It won't be so easy to kill this king. The Yimo king was also astonished by this attack. Immediately, craziness surged in his eyes. He clearly understood that although the life force of an Yimo was strong, in the face of the combined power of 3 ancestral symbols, he had finally felt the threat of death. Great demon erosion. Evil black chi that seemed to cover the land swept out from within the body of the Yimo king. In the end, it formed a 10,000 feet large black light cluster above his head. From a distance, it appeared just like a black sun which was filled with evil. Clearly, in order to block the Mo Luo trio's killing blow, this Yimo king had begun desperately fight back. Bang! The 3 glowing pillars tore through space like 3 meteorites streaking across the sky. Finally, they ruthlessly crashed into the black sun with an extremely shocking momentum. An indescribable energy ripple frantically spread. The originally tens of thousands of feet large area was directly torn till it became several 100,000 feet large. The entire lightning sea was turned into complete chaos as a result. Groan! A moan was emitted from Lin Dong's throat while his face turned much paler. After all, he was far weaker than Mo Luo and the Lightning Emperor. Hence, it was truly a stretch for him to fight this peak expert that was comparable to a reincarnation stage expert. Brother Lin Dong. Behind him, Mu Lingshan hurriedly cried out upon seeing this. However, she was stopped by Lin Dong with a wave of his hand. No matter what, he cannot screw up at this moment. Lin Dong, are you still able to manage? Mo Luo shouted. He was similarly aware that this fight had put a great strain on Lin Dong. However, in order to guarantee that they would be able to kill this Yimo king, it was best that they also had the devouring ancestral symbol. I can. Lin Dong clenched his teeth and replied in a low voice. Soon after, a ruthless expression flashed across his eyes. With a thought, an emerald green crystal began to flicker within his dantian as wave after wave of majestic life chi surged out like floodwaters. This life chi crystal was a gift from Mu Lan. However, the energy contained within it was far too tremendous. Hence, Lin Dong had simply placed it in his dantian in order to use it in the future after he had advanced to the advanced profound life stage. Now, it was exactly what he needed. Bang! As majestic life chi entered his body, Lin Dong's previous exhaustion was practically gone in an instant. Bright light surged within both of his eyes. With a low cry, the black hole above his head began to rotate at even more frantically. Good kid. His willpower is pretty good. Mo Luo and the Lightning Emperor slightly nodded when they saw that Lin Dong was actually able to endure that terrifying energy. The latter's strength might not meet the mark for the time being, but he was remarkably tenacious. No wonder he had been chosen by the devouring ancestral symbol. Bang bang bang. Deafening energy explosions continued to reverberate across the sky. The aftershocks caused even the thunder world to tremble slightly. 3 light pillars interweaved. The full power of all 3 ancestral symbols was unleashed. Under this combined power, the evil black sun was continuously pushed back. The frightening and angry roar of the Yimo King resembled that of a trapped beast as it sounded out continuously. After all, it had been sealed for 1,000 years. Hence, it was without a doubt extremely difficult for it to fight against 3 great ancestral symbols. Your days of being sealed are over. Dazzling light flashed within the Lightning Emperor's eyes. His cry was like thunder as he threw a punch forward. The 9-headed lightning snake in the sky whistled down and headed straight for the Yimo King. Swoosh! After the 9-headed lightning snake charged forth, the fire phoenix let loose a piercing cry at the heavens. Promptly, it flapped its wings, carrying the power of destruction as it shot forth. Go! A fierce glint flashed across Lin Dong's eyes. His finger thrust into empty space as the wildly rotating black hole tore through the air like a circular saw and ruthlessly shot out. The 3 great ancestral symbols attacked at the same time. It was earth-shaking. 3 rays of resplendent light tore through the thunder world. Finally, they were accompanied by an indescribable destructive fluctuations as they charged into the 100,000 feet large swirling vortex. Next, they ruthlessly slammed against the evil black sun that was being continuously pushed back. Bang! A terrifying loud sound directly reverberated across this thunder world the moment the collision occurred. Due to that impact, the lightning sea region below was actually shattered into pieces and turned into many large lakes that floated in the thunder world. The black sun collapsed almost instantaneously in the face of this attack and the evil black chi swiftly disappeared. With the collapse of the black sun, the Yimo King below was also exposed to the attacks of the 3 great ancestral symbols. Ah! The Yimo King stared at the 3 great ancestral symbols whistling towards him, while rich horror spread across his eyes. This time around, it had truly felt the threat of impending death. This king does not want to die here. The Yimo King roared. Its voice was filled with reluctance. However, no one cared about its screams at this moment. The 3 great ancestral symbols continued to rush over before they mercilessly struck its body. Boom! The body of the Yimo King shattered almost immediately upon collision. Black chi spread in all directions and began to flee. Sizzle sizzle. However, the silver, red and black light quickly scattered after black chi escaped. Moreover, whenever those black chi met these 3 different rays of light, they were just like snow that came into contact with the sun, as they quickly vanished. Ah, you despicable humans! How dare you kill this king? Just you wait. One day, my clansmen will definitely flatten your plane and all of you will be our slaves forever. A sharp miserable screech reverberated across the thunder world along with an extremely evil curse as the black chi disappeared. I refuse to accept this. I refuse. The extremely violent energy began to slowly disappear from the bottom of the lightning sea. The Yimo King's body also disappeared along with it. This Yimo King, which had once destroyed this lightning cavern, was finally vanquished thanks to the combined effort of 3 great ancestral symbols. Huff! Lin Dong was finally unable to hold on any further after the Yimo King was exterminated. Both his hands fell weakly while a pale expression gushed onto his youthful face. Although his body felt feeble, there was some excitement surging within his eyes. After all, who would have imagined that he could actually help Mo Luo and the Lightning Emperor to eliminate an Yimo King that was a peak expert comparable to a reincarnation stage expert. The black hole in the sky also became much smaller at this moment. Finally, it transformed into a black beam of light and directly flew into Lin Dong's head. "Brother Lin Dong, you all right?" Mu Lingshan hurriedly approached and asked in a worried voice. Lin Dong waved his hand. At this moment, the Yuan power within his body was completely exhausted. His exhausted Yuan power even caused the Yuan spirit in his Dantian to turn feeble. "Ha ha, you are the first person I have seen who is bold enough to participate in the hunt of an Yimo King, with only the strength of advanced profound life stage." The Lightning Emperor smilingly looked at a feeble Lin Dong and said. Lin Dong laughed bitterly upon hearing this. He immediately said, "As the owner of an ancestral symbol, it is impossible to avoid such matters." When Lin Dong obtained the ancestral symbol back then, he also understood that he would have to shoulder some responsibilities in return for obtaining this strength. The ancestral symbol were created to protect this world. Anyone who controlled them would also have to undertake the role of being a guardian of this world. The Lightning Emperor nodded as he looked at Lin Dong. His bright silver eyes seemed to contain a trace of admiration. Immediately, he pressed his finger forward. A lightning glow escaped from the tip of his finger and flew towards Lin Dong. "These are some items left on my body. Since we are fated to meet, I shall give them to you." Lin Dong was startled. He extended his hand and received the lightning glow. The lightning flashed and appeared like a lightning crystal. Within it, he could sense an extremely mysterious fluctuation. "These are some revelations that I obtained after I broke through to the samsara stage back then. Perhaps it might be of use to you after you enter the profound death stage." Lin Dong became excited. A profound death stage expert could be considered as a top-tier expert in this world. However, if one truly wanted to become a giant, one must step into the samsara stage. However, it was not easy to do so. Countless profound death stage experts had spent their entire lives trying to do so, only to end up in failure. Clearly, the final step was not an easy one to take. It was precisely why this lightning crystal was so precious. If those profound death stage old demons in the outside world were to learn about it, they would definitely covert it tremendously. "Thank you, Elder." Lin Dong solemnly cupped his hands together towards the Lightning Emperor and said, "I am already a dead person. Rather than allowing these things to vanish from this world along with me, I rather give them to you." The Lightning Emperor laughed in a faint voice. "Moreover, you are still quite weak. Once the Yimo learns that you possess the devouring ancestral symbol, they will definitely come looking for you." Lin Dong nodded his head. He was aware that those Yimo seemed to be quite afraid of the ancestral symbols. If given an opportunity, they would definitely attack and eliminate the owners of the ancestral symbols. Furthermore, he was not as powerful as Mo Luo. The latter also had an enormous flame divine hall backing him, which he did not have. Hence, he didn't dare to flaunt his ancestral symbol like Mo Luo, who has seemingly told the entire world that he owns the blazing ancestral symbol. What is the Yimo situation currently in this world? The Lightning Emperor glanced at Mo Luo and asked. "They are hiding far deeper than before." A dim expression flashed over Mo Luo's face as he spoke. "Moreover, they are increasingly behaving like an organization. According to the information that I obtained, there exists a terrifying organization currently on this plane. Moreover, this mysterious organization is established by Yimo. Moreover, the Yimos which attacked your lightning cavern back then might have been dispatched by this organization." The Lightning Emperor frowned slightly. Scattered Yimo forces were not terrifying. What was truly frightening was when they gathered together and had a common goal. During these past hundreds of years, there were incidents whereby some lucky individuals, who had obtained some ancient divine objects, ended up being attacked by some mysterious individuals. Even certain top-tier experts were surrounded and attacked. Lin Dong focused his eyes. Little Martin, who had obtained the ancestral stone back then, seemed to have encountered a similar situation. Could it be that the ones who attacked him back then were the Yimo? What are they trying to do? The Lightning Emperor asked. They are doing all they can to reduce the fighting prowess of the elite humans and the number of ancestral symbol owners. Mo Luo replied in a faint voice. Their eventual goal should be to tear open a crack on this plane and allow their Yimo army to once again invade this plane. The expression of the Lightning Emperor was altered slightly. He asked, the humans were barely able to win the Great World War during the ancient times, and it was only because the great symbol ancestor sacrificed himself. If this great war restarts again, who in this world will be able to step up and fill the shoes that the great symbol ancestor left? Mo Luo slowly nodded. A moment later, he thought for a moment and remarked, however, based on what I am aware of, there is one person amongst the 8 great disciples of the symbol ancestor whom the symbol ancestor thought may have a good chance to reach that stage. Who? The Lightning Emperor asked in shock. It should be the one called the Ice Master. She is the symbol ancestor's most outstanding disciple. Mo Luo voiced his thoughts. After that world war back then, she also entered into reincarnation. I wonder just when she will awaken. Ice Master. Seated beside them, when Lin Dong heard this somewhat familiar name, his pupils involuntarily shrunk. The hand under his sleeve also tightened at that moment. Huan, she was the reincarnation of the Ice Master. What is it? Mo Luo looked at Lin Dong and asked in a puzzled manner. Nothing, Lin Dong shook his head. He did not wish to reveal information about Ying Huan. Whether she would awaken or not would entirely depend on her fate. From his perspective, he did not wish to see that lively and energetic young girl turn into another person. This was even if the awakened Ice Master may become the savior of this world. Mo Luo did not inquire any further upon seeing this. He continued, we do not know much about that mysterious organization. However, an increasing number of super experts are beginning to notice them. We will begin our investigation. The Lightning Emperor nodded and laughed. I am unable to lend you a helping hand with regards to this matter. Hopefully, this world will be able to avoid the fate of being enslaved by the Yimo. The Lightning Emperor's eyes suddenly stared at Lin Dong and Mo Luo after speaking until this point. There was an unknown expression flashing across his eyes. He immediately pointed towards the sky. That 9-headed lightning snake once again turned into a lightning sun. Both of you, your reasons for coming here should be because of this, am I right? Lin Dong's and Mo Luo's eyes hardened after hearing the Lightning Emperor's words. This video will end here.